Good evening and thanks for joining us. Clayton, huge curling tournament here over the weekend. A lot of good talent from across the region. So.
Yeah, a lot of young talent from across the region. And it's one of those things that with all the football and all the hockey right now, Bobcats, Border Kings, kind of gets a little bit pushed to the side. But we got all those highlights from the finals there.
We got Excellent. And Gerard, how's the weather looking for trick-or-treaters tonight?
Good weather. Just make sure you got some layers on. It's getting nippy and the wind isn't doing us any favors. If we're going to have our youngsters out, we're going to be out with them too. We need a few layers on. Certainly we got to 8 this afternoon, just at about 2 o'clock thereabouts, but the wind is really howling around the place, anywhere from 30 up to 42 at one stage out of the west-northwest basically. Humidity at 37%. It's not rising too precipitously. And as we compare the situation across the region, Cold Lake and area, a similar story for 8 degrees Celsius. Got there at 3 o'clock to the Battlefords where they've enjoyed the better of the sunshine. In fact, we started off this morning a bit on the overcast side. They've gotten to 9 since about 4 o'clock. We'll talk about the conditions later on for some more trick-or-treating and the howling wind in the second segment.
If you're traveling into or from the eastern side of the city tomorrow, you had better prepare for some delays. As Emmett Murphy reports, the area near the Highway 16 overpass will be closed all day for construction.
It has been 3 weeks since a transport truck struck the Canadian Pacific Highway overpass at the eastern outskirts of town.
The highway was initially closed for 2 days for repair evaluations. Now this section of the Yellowhead will be closed again as final construction gets underway.
We're hoping to get the word out so as many people avoid the detour as possible and find alternate routes, but unfortunately there is long delays to be expected.
The highway will be closed beginning at 7 a.m. and should be completed by Wednesday. Canadian Pacific Railway is breathing a huge sigh of relief as they say 3 weeks of detouring trains has been a big inconvenience.
Obviously, this creates a great deal more complexity than was needed because of an accident that was entirely preventable.
Drivers will be forced to take the same detour as when the incident took place.
Time at points, it was up to an hour that it took for people to get around the detour. So we're hoping that the detour will run a little bit more smoothly, but it's still a lot of vehicle traffic to get around.
Wide loads and long combination vehicles will not be allowed on the detour. CP is aiming to have the line back in service Tuesday night. Emmett Murphy, Newcap News.
Members from the Waseca Rink Board are banding together in an effort to save their only ice rink. Standing for 24 years to this day, the facility has seen better days. The building is now rusting away and falling apart. However, the project can't be done alone. As Kathy Lee explains, the group is looking to their community and others for help.
For the last month, volunteers have been working away to help bring the Waseca Rink back to life.
The building has kind of gone downhill, and so we're trying to just get it back up to code and hopefully be usable again for everybody that wants to use it.
Opened about 24 years ago, Jennifer Schonifer says the list of things that need repairing is exhausting.
The roof is leaking. Right now, we've had some plumbing problems in the past, and so now because of the leak in the roof, there's a lot of black mold, there's a lot of rot.
At an estimate of $22,000 for upgrades, board members are relying on volunteers, fundraisers, donations, and sponsorships to foot the cost, not taxpayers' money.
The tax dollars, I know the rink board itself pays the insurance, because that just came out of the account in September. All the bills come out of the account.
While Schonifer believes rebuilding the rink is an asset to the town, she's felt opposition from other groups.
We're having some people that are pretty negative about it, and they're taking it a little too far, I think. So we're hoping that they realize that, you know, it's going to be a good step for Waseca. That.
But despite the roadblocks, the group and their helpers will keep on track towards the finished project.
We're hoping the outside and anything that's to do with the cold part, like the boards, because the paint has to dry, and hopefully the roof before it snows.
Electric cars are becoming increasingly popular both around the world and here at home. At today's Rotary Club meeting, a new member shared his life accomplishments, including a project that he started right here in.
We built an electric car at Silverwood Toyota, and we're currently just putting the final touches on it. I have it here today. And we built that in our shop at Silverwood Toyota. I was one of the two main workers on it. So.
Along with volunteer co-workers, Ulmer and his team were able to build the car with parts provided by a Toyota dealership.
We can use a lot of some of the original components, and you put in an electric motor. You have to have a lot of electric pumps for the power steering and brake booster and all that stuff, and a lot of custom work.
Ulmer says he's excited to join the Rotary Club and looks forward to what the future holds.
I thought I'd have to wait until I'm retired and have a bunch of time on my hands before I could start to do some of these things. I realized that Rotary is all about making the world a better place, so I think that I can accomplish some of my life's goals a little sooner than I thought through Rotary.
2 high school students from Holy Rosary High School have earned bragging rights and a nice check after snagging first place for their anti-drug video, a partnership between the Youth Center and the Lloyd Area Drug Strategy. That the project allowed students to showcase the implications of irresponsible drinking and drug use. Kathy Lee tells us that taking the director's seat for the video impacted the students a lot.
It's amazing.
Is what Sean Dull had to say about winning first place for an anti-drug video contest. His teammate also relishing the success.
We all worked really hard, so everyone had very good videos, and for mine to be the one that won just wasn't expected.
For the last couple months, students in and around the region were challenged to create a story about the negative side of drugs and alcohol.
It blows my mind how amazing and how creative kids are and what they see impacting them and how they can portray it.
Shakosky says getting the students to be the teachers is a more powerful approach to getting the message across.
The point is just to get, I guess, teenagers in the community thinking about the different things that can happen when they're drinking or doing drugs and how it does affect everyone and it affects themselves.
And the premise behind the winning video?
There's this kid, he gets hooked on drinking, and then one day he decides to go driving, and that ends up ruining his life because he gets into a crash.
Aspiring to be a movie director, Dahl says making the video was fun. The lesson behind it is what's important.
Today youth like to go out and party and have a good time, and they don't realize the consequences of what they could be doing. And it's important for them to know what could happen.
And not just for bragging rights. These guys will get to spend their winnings too. That's $250 each.
I'm going to put it towards getting a new laptop. I don't really know yet.